Wow. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you all for coming. I did prepare a little speech that I wanted to say before we started, just to kind of give you a little background how this event occurred. And so I'm going to begin with that. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for coming. We have a special evening planned for you tonight. It promises to be uplifting and poignant, tearful and funny, exciting and heartwarming. When I began to organize this event and word started getting out in the community that I was creating a tribute to my dad, some people came up to me and said, "I'm so sorry to hear about your dad's passing." I would have to correct them and say, no, my dad is still alive. And then they seemed surprised. Why are you doing this if he's still alive? I'm doing it because I wanted him to experience this while he's still here with us. Most of us don't get the chance to do something like this for our parents or loved ones while they are still here. I am so grateful for everyone who has made this evening possible. And there are a lot of people to thank. There are a lot of people that made this evening possible. To have my dad here to experience this is the greatest gift that I could give, and it is overwhelmingly touching that you are all here to help pay tribute to him. I thought I might give a little background before we begin the show. Creative expression was always very highly valued in my family. My parents encouraged us to be creative, not only by providing a cultural environment for us to thrive in, but by whom they were as people. My mom was an artist of sorts. She was unique. I would say she was eccentric, and had a knack for working with her hands. In the 1950s, she had a leather shop on Bleecker Street in Manhattan's Greenwich Village. She made leather belts and bags and sandals, and always had a real sense of fashion. When we were kids, she made some of our clothes and all kinds of costumes for us and for the theater group that my dad belonged to while we were growing up, called the Community Free Theater in St. James. Anybody here from that theater tonight? Yes, woo, woo. My mom had a great sense of humor, and I remember as a kid that we always had lots of teenagers coming to our house to hang out with her and make crafty things like macrame belts and hanging planters. Anybody remember that? Michael Smith? They weren't coming for me, they were coming to hang out with my mom. Ever since I can remember, my dad was involved in theater, and as children, we were always going to see him perform in plays. We even acted at times in some of the productions that he performed in. And his interest in performing definitely rubbed off on me. One of my favorite things to do as a kid was to make up skits with my friends and perform them for people. Once we put on a show for the whole neighborhood at my house and charged 25 cents to get in. That's what some of us kids did before the age of computers. My dad also involved us in improvisational theater for children, which was a class comprised of all the children of the members of the Community Free Theater that he was involved in for most of my childhood. During the week after he got home from teaching, it wasn't atypical to see my dad lying on his bed in his room, uttering his lines for an upcoming play. I would sometimes need help with my homework, and when I would knock on his door and ask if I could come in, he never said no. He would always stop his rehearsing and help me. He made me feel that I could always ask him for help, and I did. Those were some of my sweetest childhood memories. My dad taught me many things. He taught me to believe in myself, to do the best that I could do in whatever I strive for. He instilled in me the belief that I could do anything that I set my mind to, and that it was also okay to make mistakes. He taught me to have tolerance for others, and he gave me a deep appreciation for the arts. My dad's activism for civil rights and the anti-war movement taught me to be a leader and a rebel. He taught me to stand up for what I believed in and to stay true to myself. When my dad retired from teaching after 30 years, he stayed active in his acting and continued to perform in many plays until even last year when he was in 12 Angry Men, a play that he has acted in many times before. At the same time, I watched my dad learn to play the piano after he retired. But I really had no idea that he had written over 500 melodies. When he got diagnosed with cancer this past May, he came to me and said that he had all these melodies but could not seem to write lyrics. He asked me if I could help him. It seemed urgent. I left that day feeling perplexed and overwhelmed. I'm a singer, not a songwriter. I wanted to help him, but I wasn't sure how. When I got home, I was sitting at my computer and a thought came to me. Wait a minute, I know many musicians in this community. Talented and wonderful singer-songwriters. Maybe they would help me. And so that night, I decided to send an email to as many musicians that I could think of off the top of my head, asking if they had any interest in this idea I had for an event involving my dad. Some were good friends of mine, others were acquaintances, and some I had just recently met at Toby Tobias's open mic. I asked each musician if they would take one of my dad's melodies and put lyrics to them. I explained his present state of health and how important he felt it was for him to have lyrics to his songs. The next day, everyone responded a unanimous yes. Every musician made it very clear that they were honored to be asked to participate in such a beautiful event. This was so incredibly touching to me, that these wonderful people were eager to participate in this project. So that's why we're here tonight. We're here because my dad reached out to me in his time of need, and I reached out to my community. And my community of loving, giving musicians and friends felt the generosity in their hearts to give of their time, their energy, and their talent. Tonight is about community and kindness and healing. It is about love. We are here tonight because of love and because music heals. Music uplifts the human spirit and music unites us. I feel closer to all of the people involved in this project because of the love they have shown by participating so willingly. It is so heartwarming to know that even in such difficult times, love and kindness are in abundance in this community. And just in case you're wondering about the difference this event has made in my dad's life, I will read to you a text that I received from his wife, Laura, just last week. She wrote, "I meant to tell you on Saturday that your dad has been playing his piano during the morning and a lot in the evenings as well. This morning he played all morning, and I hear him humming all the time. He doesn't even realize he's humming tunes half the time. What a change in him from the last 6 months of suffering, all due to what you have created for him on November 19th. I am so happy at his uplifted spirit, which has helped my spirits as a result. You are the best." Thank you, Laura. I thank you, Laura, for all you have done and continue to do for my dad. They say it takes a village, and I say we have one here tonight. Thank you all for coming out tonight to witness and be a part of this beautiful tribute to my dad. So without further ado, let the Love Fest begin.